Okay, now just to show how I finish the piece off once I've got all the painting done, then I go back and I add this little bit of spattering, and what that's going to do, it's going to actually tie everything together and help create a little bit of movement in your piece. Then once you begin putting on the layers of varnish, this one has one coat on it, you'll see all those little spatters kind of come to life in your background and over your piece. So I've added the spattering to this one in the colors I'm using. So I'm going to show you on the purple one. And the first color I want to use is the full strength purple, just a little bit on a toothbrush, and it doesn't take much, and just a tiny, you want only the least amount of moisture left in the toothbrush. So what I do is I wet it and then just dry it good, and whatever moisture's left in it, it's good to go. Then with your thumb, I begin at the base of my rose here, and you'll notice the little spatters are already showing up. And I want the dark at the bottom, and then I want to just add a little around the entire piece. And you'll think, well, that's not going to show up. But it does. You'll be surprised at the colors that you can actually see even on that green background. So I clean the brush from the purple color. And now I want to do the same thing with the green color. And I want to start first by going around the rock. And as I need a tad more on the tip of the brush, I just pick it up. It's usually just a touch. And then I want just the least little bit over the rose itself. Not much, just a little bit. Then clean the brush from that. And you can use like one toothbrush for darks, one for light. I'm just so used to cleaning mine that I don't worry about it. I just use the same brush. Then I want some white. And with the white, you don't want to be real heavy-handed. You want just enough of the white to then tie everything together, because the white on there is going to help keep the eye moving. And that's it. Then once that dries, then I'll put the varnish on it. And I'll show you how I do it on this one. And I've got a little varnish in my palette from where I had started with the red one. And I use the same brush for applying my varnish. That's all this brush ever touches is varnish. It doesn't go into any paint colors, only the varnish. And then I build this up to about 3 coats. This is the varnish that I use. And then once that coat is good and dry, then I'll put another, and then I'll put a third coat on it. So once these two have cured some, then they'll get some varnish. These I painted yesterday, so they cured overnight. And so they're ready for some varnish. And this is how I did a little, like, kind of a worksheet. Trying to get all my stuff put back where I keep it. And this just shows your little based rose. Here I've added the bowl and just some of the mid-value color. Here I'm pulling in more color, adding more, just whether it's the brush mix of the white and the dark color, adding some white, and then going back and finishing it off with enough strokes, and then the leaf stroke. And that's just your touch, press, pull and lift, all one motion stroke. And so that's just how simple it is to make the little, I call them faux cabbagey rose effects. And you can see all the variety of colors. So I think I'm going to do a few more and have me a pretty little rose garden. Thanks.